We're getting pretty deep into all this interface stuff, and so before we move on with it, I want to give you just one quick 30-second review on what interfaces are and why we care about them. So we're going to review the example that we did earlier inside this section. Remember, we defined two custom types, EnglishBot and SpanishBot, and they both had a respective getGreeting function that when called would return something of type string. So they both had a function called getGreeting that returned a string. We then defined an interface called bot, and we said that if some other type inside of our application, if any other type whatsoever defined a function called getGreeting that returned a string, then that other type could also be considered to be a bot. This was important because then it allowed us to then define a function called printGreeting, and the only requirement of printGreeting is that it had to be called with something of type bot. And so we were then able to say that, hey, EnglishBot is a bot and SpanishBot is a bot. So we could then put together one implementation of printGreeting that was then reused by both the EnglishBot and the SpanishBot. So remember, in general, we like to use interfaces because in some conditions they allow us to actually reuse a pretty good amount of code. Now, at this point, as we're starting to talk about all this crazy interface stuff over here, you might be thinking, definitely not feeling the code reuse at this point, right? We're really not feeling it. So with that in mind, let's take a quick pause. We're going to come back in the next video and we're going to talk about exactly why this reader interface thing right here, why, even though it seems so complicated and what the heck is a reader anyways, we're going to talk about exactly why it actually truly does save us a lot of code. So quick pause and we'll come back and talk about the reader in the next section.